Hi, thank you for joining us today. I'm Megan Ritchie, owner of High Drive, and although we've talked a fair bit about Kongs in some other videos, today I just wanted to show you how I would introduce it to a dog that's never used a Kong before. So Tess is going to help me. She's ready. So we've got our Kong here. She is not a very strong chewer, so I use just the regular classic Kong for her. I think this is the extra large size. I've got freeze-dried chicken. If you feed your dog kibble and you're first doing this, I would just use your kibble at home. I've got a handful of treats and put them in, and I'm just going to give it to her on, I've put a mat here in the training center, so if you're at home, you could give it to them in their kennel if you're wanting to use a Kong when you go to work, or dog bed, or just give it to them if you'd prefer. So I'm just going to switch video cameras here so you can see me giving it to her on the bed. So I'm just going to go put the Kong down on the green mat here. If you want to give this to your dog eventually in their kennel while you go to work, or maybe put it on their bed when you leave the house, I would just start that way. She's used to it, so she's laying down already. If your dog doesn't lay down, that's fine. I would just keep going back to that spot so that they get used to it being fed in the kennel or what have you. This one doesn't have very many treats in it, but Tess is used to emptying one out that does. So you can see she's already laying on the ground trying to get her food. So once you've given this to your dog the first few times, they can empty it in 5 seconds flat once they figure out the game. So from there, we're going to have 21 recipes, so you can kind of progressively make it harder for your dog. So we'll just lengthen that time. So we'll go from 5 seconds to maybe half an hour with a frozen Kong. And if your dog gets stuck though, which often they will, they'll kind of get stuck. It's nice and easy for them. They pop out all the kibble and they're done in 30 seconds. But then you switch to a canned food or frozen food, and all of a sudden they struggle. And so we want to give you an option when that happens. You can always go to a bigger Kong, so it's going to have a wider opening. That'll make it easier for them. We've got another toy though I wanted to show you today, which is the Kong Genius. So let me just go grab that. So as I said, if you've tried the Kong and your dog's having a hard time moving on as far as difficulty level goes, we've got two other options here. The Kong Locket, which I demonstrated with Riggs. So you can find our video on the Locket. That would be a good choice. I wouldn't maybe recommend that one for hard chewers if you're going to leave it with them in their kennel during the day, just because it is a softer plastic. For that, I'd go to maybe the Kong Genius. This is one of the Genius toys. As you can see, get a little closer here, it's got just some little nubs, so as you fill it with kibble, it's going to be a little harder for the dogs to get it out. So it'd be a little more active toy than the Kong, where hopefully they'll just lay down and eat it, but this one's going to work very well for a kennel kind of option as well. So these might be a little bit big for the Genius, but I'm just going to kind of pop them in there. You might just put your finger over the hole on the other end, or they tend to fall out. But with a kibble, depending on how big your kibble is, they're probably going to come out fairly easily. This is a large Genius. If you have the smaller one for smaller puppy kibble, that'd be a good choice. So